Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ramon and currently I'm showing you my movie collection, DVDs and Blu-rays and VHS tapes of movies that were released in the 1980s. If you appreciate content like this, then please consider hitting the like button, maybe even subscribe to my channel, and you can always leave a comment. I enjoy reading those. I promise to pick up the pace. Let's start with first one. Burt Reynolds and Cynthia Gibb in Malone. This is Fred Decker's awesome The Monster Squad. Yeah, great film. Romantic comedy Moonstruck, directed by Norman Jewison. And this is Peter Jackson's parody of The Muppets, Meet the Feebles. Action thriller by Carl Schenkel, The Mighty Quinn with Denzel. And this is Jackie Chan's Miracles, and according to Jackie Chan himself, this is the movie he is most proud of, inspired by two films by Frank Capra, Lady for a Day and Pocketful of Miracles. Kim Basinger and Dan Aykroyd in the sci-fi comedy My Stepmother is an Alien. Jonathan Demme's comedy Married to the Mob with Michelle Pfeiffer and Alec Baldwin. Fantastic action comedy by Martin Brest, Midnight Run. And an endearing animated gem by Miyazaki, My Neighbor Totoro. This is Jing Wong's fantasy adventure film, The Magic Crystal, with Andy Lau, Cynthia Rothrock, and Richard Norton on the left. I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous video, but Richard Norton passed away pretty recently, and rest in peace, Mr. Norton. I'm glad he left us a lot of great martial arts films, like this one. This is the martial arts western Millionaires Express, directed by Sammo Hung, and Richard Norton and Cynthia Rothrock also make an appearance in this one. This is the music film Moonwalker with Michael Jackson. I loved Michael Jackson when I was a kid. Quite possibly the worst Stephen King adaptation ever, directed by Stephen King himself. Maximum Overdrive. Fantastic art house film, The Night is Young, Mauvais Song. My favorite of director Leos Carax, with Juliette Binoche and Denis Lavant. And another great kung fu flick by Lau Kar-leung, Martial Club with Gordon Liu and Cara Wei. Maria Conchita Alonso and Robin Williams in Moscow on the Hudson. And this was the first in a trilogy, Istvan Szabo's Mephisto with Klaus Maria Brandauer. Yeah, this is a really good drama by Costa Gavras, Missing, with a very serious performance by Jack Lemmon, also in the film Sissy Spacek. This is Buddy Cooper's slasher The Mutilator, which is an average one. Rest in peace, Terry Garr. She passed away last year. This is the comedy Mr. Mom she did with Michael Keaton. And this is a fantasy comedy, of a fantasy film for teenagers or kids, based on a book by Michael Ende, Momo. And Michael Ende also wrote the book The Never-Ending Story, and this is Peterson's adaptation. The Never-Ending Story is one of my favorite fantasy films of all time, and it gets better with each viewing. Shelley Long and Tom Hanks in Richard Benjamin's comedy The Money Pit. William Peter Blatty wrote The Exorcist and the book The Ninth Configuration, and he directed the movie adaptation himself with Stacy Keach. Demi Moore and John Cryer in the teen comedy No Small Affair by Jerry Schatzberg. And this is the post-apocalyptic adventure film, horror adventure film, Night of the Comet. And this is a really underrated action thriller, Nighthawks, with Sly and Rutger Hauer. Another film by Miyazaki, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind. The soundtrack by Joe Hisaishi is one of my favorites of all time. Ron Howard directed the comedy Night Shift with Michael Keaton, Shelley Long and Henry Winkler. And Sam Furstenberg directed this cult film starring Lucinda Dickey and Sho Kosugi, Ninja 3 The Domination. This is a horror martial arts film directed by Chang Che, The Nine Demons, based on Faust. And this is a steelbook, DVD steelbook of Wes Craven's supernatural slasher Nightmare on Elm Street. And I also own a Blu-ray set containing the first 7 original movies. And my favorites are, of course, the original one, the first one from 1984, and the third one, starring Patricia Arquette and Lawrence Fishburne, and directed by Chuck Russell, Dream Warriors. Yeah. Another great horror film by Fred Dekker, Night of the Creeps, with Tom Atkins. And a little monster film, Neon Maniacs, not very good. The action thriller No Mercy with Richard Gere, Kim Basinger, and Dutch actor Jeroen Krabbe. Jeroen Krabbe, yes. And a surprisingly good teen comedy starring Lori Loughlin and Keanu Reeves, The Night Before. Lori Loughlin was also in this film, a thriller directed by Sean Cunningham, The New Kids, also starring James Spader. And this is the Naked Gun trilogy. The first one was released in 1988. The first two movies were directed by David Zucker, and the third one by Peter Siegel. Yeah, silly comedies, but I like them. Then a strange, almost surreal comedy by John G. Avildsen, Neighbors, with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. This is Jean-Jacques Annaud's wonderful The Name of the Rose, based on a book by Umberto Eco. Nadine is an action comedy with Jeff Bridges and again Kim Basinger. And Gene Hackman and Kevin Costner in Roger Donaldson's No Way Out, based on the same book as the 1948 movie The Big Clock with Ray Milland. Tom Hanks and Jackie Gleason in the dramedy Nothing in Common, which is okay. And this is Corey Junn's awesome martial arts film Ninja in the Dragon's Den, starring Conan Lee and Hiroyuki Sanada. And the opening scene is one of my favorite scenes of all time, uh, especially for a ninja film. You have to check this one out. It's great. This is another copy of Lucio Fulci's The New York Ripper. This is the horror anthology Nightmares, starring Lance Henriksen and Emilio Estevez. One of my favorite movies of all time, Nostalgia, by Andrei Tarkovsky. Maybe I should do a video on this one in the future. But great film. And this is a Police Academy clone, basically. Night Patrol with Linda Blair. 1983 saw the release of two Bond movies, the official Octopussy with Roger Moore and the unofficial Never Say Never Again, which was a remake of Thunderball. And this is the horror film Night of the Demons with Linnea Quigley. Kurt McKinney and Jean-Claude Van Damme in No Retreat, No Surrender, in many parts of the world known as Karate Tiger. And this is a set containing No Retreat, No Surrender and two sequels. The second one stars Lauren Avedon, Matthias Hughes and Cynthia Rothrock. And the third one, Blood Brothers, is with Lauren Avedon and Keith Vitali. Great film, I think. Japanese animated anthology Neo Tokyo. Two of the directors that did a segment were Otomo from Akira and Rintaro. This is the high-octane thriller No Man's Land with D.B. Sweeney and Charlie Sheen. And last but not least, Catherine Bigelow's awesome and very dark vampire film Near Dark with Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen. I hope you enjoyed, guys, and tune in next time. Have a good day.